What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Building a Zoo in Minecraft. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be turning this tiny little island here in the middle of this lake into the giant island of Madagascar. But not really, the life-size island, because that's a little above my pay grade. But as you can tell, this island is going to be pretty big, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of work.
A few moments later.
And after years of hard work and slave labor, I finally finished the island. Well, JK, I actually downloaded this mod. I pulled it up on Minecraft because I forgot the name of it, but it's called Build Tools. It's really useful. I would recommend if you're a creative builder. It made this process of building this island a lot faster. But anyways, I went in and did another jump cut. So I have all the pathways lined up. I got the 3 exhibits outlined, and a little area where the restaurant and restrooms are going to be. And you can also see where the paths go onto like the beach area, which I do plan on doing something with. But anyways, I went ahead and made these little bridges here. I'm not crazy about their design. I might go back and change it later on, but I did what I could. Okay, I just kind of started throwing stuff at a wall, and yeah, I hope to stick, and it's not that bad, but I could definitely do a better bridge. But anyways, now I'm building some baobab trees, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm building like 3 of them across the island, and then I also started working on trying to make palm trees as well. Also, I don't know if I've ever been on the record of saying this, but I hate building palm trees, like with such a passion. I genuinely hate building palm trees. Whenever I build them, I feel like they aren't, like something just always seems off about them. Like, look at this. That's a monstrosity. Like, what? But yeah, I gave up on doing that for right now. I gave up. I said, screw that. So I started building some other types of trees. Not really any specific type. I just kind of built like branches and stuff. But anyways, back to the baobab tree. I went ahead and like kind of added like some branches and stuff to it, filled in the top, and I like it. It looks really nice. And also I forgot to add some leaves on like the little branches, so I went back and fixed it, and it looks even better now. And there's the leaves on the second one, and I think I just skipped the third one. Also, I went ahead and made the little restroom area, and I used these sulfur slabs to kind of look like hay or like thatch, and I thought that turned out really well. But so let's go ahead and furnish the inside of this, and just like that, the insides are furnished. And also, let me go ahead and break this and move it a little bit. But so, yep, insides are done. Anyways, I went ahead and built the little restaurant area, kind of using the same little like technique with like the sulfur slabs. I went and filled it up with a bunch of food, and now it's time to go ahead and throw in our kitchen employees in here, where they are trapped to work for eternity. Anyways, after letting those 2 villagers sit in there for the rest of eternity, I decided to go ahead and get some benches and tables set up, so that way we can go ahead and have like some little areas where guests can eat. And yeah, these guys look like they're loving it back there. But anyways, this is starting to come along. I'm liking it a lot. Now it's time to go ahead and start trying to build out these trees more. I really feel like this place will come together a lot more once it gets more dense. So that's what I kind of spent a while doing, just doing a bunch of trees, different types of trees. And eventually I had to circle back to the palm trees, and this was terrible. I hated it, but eventually I came up with this, and this looked pretty good. And yeah, I went ahead and tried doing it on this other tree here, and it looks pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie, but it still looks a little off. So I changed the leaves to, I think these are mangrove leaves, and it looks so much better. So now I'm gonna have to switch this whole tree out for mangrove leaves, and then do that with every single palm tree. So yep, flash forward, and I did it, and it looks really nice. I like it. I like how it turned out. I think the palm trees already add so much more flavor to the island here. Then I went ahead and started extending out the pathway onto the beach, which I do plan on doing some stuff with the beach and later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. Then I went on to add more detail onto the shoreline. I used these sandstone slabs to add more of like a smoothness to the beach. And also, by the way, did you know like 15% of y'all are subscribed? So if you're not subscribed already, please do me a big favor and click that subscribe button. So you're subscribed now, right? Like, you're subscribed? You better be. But anyways, now this place is looking nice and dense. I went in and added all of like the different plantations, and we'll plantate. Pause. No, all of the plants, plant life, plantate. Is that? I don't think that's a. Okay, whatever. We're gonna ignore that I said that. But anyways, I added these little lampposts in here too, with nether brick fences, deep slate tiles, and deep slate fences or whatever, the walls, and a lantern on the top. I mean, I added these little the spore blossoms or whatever onto the bottom of trees just to add more color. And like I said, making this place more dense definitely makes it feel much more lively and like a rainforest, or not rainforest, but Madagascar. But anyways, I added these little shrubs here, and they're supposed to represent American beach grass. It's supposed to help prevent like erosion, and it helps with dune restoration. But anyways, I made it nighttime because this place looks really cool at night. Like the water glows like a greenish blue color, and it's just really nice. And walking around here with all of the ambience and all of the little like particle effects and stuff is just, it's just like chef's kiss. But anyways, I also made this like giant mountain, as I'm sure you saw earlier, and right now it looks really bland, and I will get to fix, like I will fix that eventually. But first, I want to go and start this first exhibit here. So, I guess I'll do the animal facts thing, because that's what I started doing last time, right? So, my facts are gone. Hold up. While I'm trying to find my facts, a viewer recommended this glass like pack here. It's called like borderless glass, I believe, or no, it's called colorful glass RPV2. I pulled it up on my Minecraft right now, but so yeah, it's really cool. It has a lot of like really cool patterns and designs, but there is a very big flaw with this pack, which I will later uncover. Just wait, you'll see. It's pretty bad. All right, so I found my animal facts, and this exhibit's gonna actually have two animals in it of like the same type of animal. So with the first one, here's a few facts about them. These guys, most of the time, are on the ground, spending up to half of their day walking around on the forest floor. They have tail flags. When traveling on the ground, they hold their tail straight up in the shape of a question mark to help the group stay together. Yoga sunbathers. In the morning, they sit upright with arms and legs stretched out like they're doing yoga to warm up their bellies in the sun. And these guys also do stink fighting. So, yeah, these guys are obviously very sophisticated. Girl power. They live in groups led entirely by females. Even the lowest ranking girl outranks the highest ranking guy. Okay, I actually didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Cactus drinkers. During harsh droughts in the dry forest, they survive by eating juicy cacti and aloe plants to get water. That's pretty cool. Also, I was listing off a lot more facts, but here's what I'm talking about, the problem with like the glass panes in that pack. For some reason, you can phase through the sides of them when they're angled, so that's a problem. But anyways, the animals I was talking about were lemurs. So we have the red-ruffed lemur, and then we have the ring-tailed lemur. So yeah, I named one King Julian because, you know, Madagascar. Who doesn't know Madagascar? If you don't know Madagascar, I'm like actually demanding you, like I'm forcing you to click off this video and go watch Madagascar and then come back, because if you haven't watched it, you have to. But anyways, I don't know what's going on with the lemurs here. Their name tags are like showing like very weirdly for some reason, so I don't know. But anyways, now that exhibit is done, I'm going to start working on this mountain here.
Later.
Alright, so I added all the vegetation and the little details to the mountain here, and it looks pretty nice. Also, here's another fun fact about lemurs. My cat is named Lemur because her tail looks like a ring-tailed lemur's tail. So, that's fun fact for you. Not really about lemurs, it's more or less about my cat, but now you know. Anyways, I kind of just built this this exhibit to be pretty similar to the other one, except this one's going to end up being a closed roof. So that way, it matches the vibe a little bit more of what these animals are. And speaking of which, I should probably start telling you the facts of them. Alright, so some little fun facts about these guys. They have 6 fingers. They have a tiny hidden 6th finger on each wrist made of bone and cartilage that acts as a pseudo thumb to help them grip branches. These guys also have beaver teeth. They're the only primates whose front teeth never stop growing, meaning that they have to keep gnawing on wood to keep them sharp. Anyway, these guys are eyes. I didn't really have that much time to tell you facts, but yeah. And I had to name one Maurice because Madagascar. Again, if you haven't seen it, go watch it like right now. Like you have to. Anyways, I went and just put 3 of these guys in here, and also these guys are kind of buggy, I want to say. Like, see, these guys just kept trying to spin on top of bushes, so I had to remove all of the bushes from their exhibit, and then they just kept like climbing up the glass and then doing this weird looking face at me, like they're taunting me. So, yeah. Um, moving on from that exhibit, I'm gonna start working on this little beach area next. So I use these like sofas and the stools from my furniture. I think it's called another furniture add-on to make these like little beach chairs. I made these little custom umbrellas and this little sandcastle design here, which is really nice. I used a bunch of different types of glass to, make a little duck floaty, a flamingo floaty, and like the little buoys out in like the water to kind of keep people from swimming out too far. And I magically just made this bridge appear here. So, you're welcome. Again, I might change this bridge design later. And also added this little lifeguard stand. I used a bunch of mangrove stuff, and then I used pale oak trapdoors, pale oak benches from the furniture mod, and then mangrove shelves from that same furniture add-on that I have. And just as I was about to start the third exhibit, I noticed that a little lemur escaped. And I tried eating it, and it wouldn't let me eat it. So this means that desperate times call for desperate measures. I had to permanently relocate it. And after I checked to make sure all the other lemurs were still in the cage, I realized that was the only one missing, so the containment breach was solved. And I replaced all of the glass panes back to the Minecraft vanilla ones to ensure that they aren't going to be getting out anymore, right? Well, that's what I thought. And then I went AFK for an hour, and then I found all of the lemurs gone. Like, well, not all of them, but all of the ring-tailed lemurs were just gone. They ran off. So I kind of forgot that these bars here are also a part of that same glass pack or whatever it is, and I couldn't lead these guys either. So unfortunately, I had to permanently relocate them as well. R.I.P. my homie King Julian. Anyways, I had to barricade off that wall because I liked that bar design, and I replaced all of the lemurs that went missing. So it's like it never happened, swept under the rug. We will not speak of that. Anyways, now we're actually working on this exhibit, for real this time. So, I made a little cave here for these guys, and then I started working on some custom trees. And the trees aren't really that custom, it's kind of just like the same basic tree design I've been using for like half of my exhibits. So, yeah, nothing special about it. But I did make them connect, and I tried to make it so that way these guys would be able to climb up onto the trees and climb across. Also added in these little tunnels here because I thought it would be a fun little like play item for these guys. So I added one there, and then I added one right near the cave as well. And yeah, I like this. It makes it feel more like an actual zoo. And then I decided to add a tire swing. I used a chain and then some dark oak trapdoors and made it into like a little circle. And yeah, now they have a tire swing. I decided to go and add one in for the lemurs as well. And King Julian's kind of in my way. Could you possibly move, sir? Trying to place that. But so yeah, King Julian loves it, obviously. Anyways, time to add all of the plant life to this exhibit and get it popping. And I kind of went for just mostly pink and white as the colors for this exhibit, aside from the green. Usually I like to go with a certain color theme. But anyways, we got the Fossa in this exhibit, and these guys are really cute. I'm not gonna lie, these guys are a lot cuter than I thought they would be. Every time I imagine a Fossa, I always think of the ones from Madagascar, which look ugly. But, so, yeah, anyways, that exhibit is now officially done. I went ahead and added in some final decorations around the island here, like benches, trash cans, and stuff. But, guess what? I have a surprise for y'all. We're doing another exhibit, and I know that y'all wanted more Australian exhibits, so I went ahead and cleared out this little area over here near the kangaroos to make another Australian exhibit, and there probably will be one more that'll come in another video, but I've already built so much for this video, and I got tired of building, to be honest with you, and I just kind of want to get this video out there. So anyways, I went ahead and built these guys a little shelter. Pretty basic design. I just, did slabs and then some poles. And after adding in some water and some little hay bales, so that way these guys have a resting area and the basic plant life that I give basically every single exhibit, these guys were ready to rock and roll. And it is the wombats. So our first one over here is a baby. He's very small compared to the adult here, which is very, very obese. He has a very big nose too. But yeah, these guys are pretty cute. And that's one more to the Australian collection. And I just want to glaze the nighttime on this island one more time real quick. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the cinematics now that everything is done. Alright, overall I thought this turned out really well. But anyways, on to some announcements real quick. I plan on trying to start another Minecraft series to go alongside this one, probably in the next month or two, so be on the lookout for that if I do get around to it. And also, in case y'all didn't know, I have a real big passion for like writing stuff, specifically like superheroes like Marvel or DC. Like that's my shit. And I kind of want to start using my channel to express my passions and just try to get my ideas out there. So drop a comment if that's something that you think you'd be interested in. But please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Anyways, catch you guys in the next one.